Okay, good morning everyone again. So we talk about the barriers of communication. Barriers of communications are the distractions that can be happen from the sender and the receiver and the medium. There can be different barriers of communication can be there in an organization. So main barriers of communication we identify that day is mainly the lack of clarity. The clarity of the message should be important. The message is if not clear, then there will be a problem. I talk about the technological breakdowns can be happen, can be Wi-Fi issues. There can be the technical, the media, the device issues, technical bugs, right? Another one is poor communication skills. We talk about under that the limited vocabulary and poor listening skills, and then sometimes the spelling grammar, the English knowledge, and also the sending messages in an anger. The mood sometimes can be a cause to destroy the message and the meaning of the message. Another one is a jargon. We talk about that also. We explain that jargon is sometimes uh, special words and kind of terms used among a specific number of limited people, group of people, among doctors, among accountants, among software engineers, among different professions. So outside that profession, the people who don't have knowledge, they can't understand what is meant by jargon. And distraction also, we talk about the distraction can be background noises, factory noises, machine noises, messages being communicated effectively, can't communicate because of distraction that occur. Talk about that as well. And business cultures, we talk about some business organization, they not allowing to actually communicate effectively because they have some negative mentality regarding the keep the employees fully informed some important events, and then as a result always doubt and uncertainty creating, and then as a result rumors, gossips, suspicion, anger can be created. This will negative impacts are there, and encourage mentality in which staff become isolated and fail to share information with colleagues. And other one is a long chain of command. So long chain of command also barrier to communication, because the communication will be very difficult and take some time. There's a long chain of command. That means hierarchy. The hierarchy of the organization means that some certain layers from the top management to the bottom. Chain of command means longer. That means the managers take longer time to pass through the chain, and it may become unclear and inaccurate in the way. And also one more likely to happen in large organization where thousands of staff are employed as a result of that. So it's very difficult with the long chain of command. That's why people want to like trim, and they want remove or delayering, and then they want to make the chain of command shorter as possible, right? And using the wrong medium is another thing. Medium problems also become the barriers of communication. So when you're talking to someone, these things are really important, guys. So the medium problems, medium must be very important to get the confidential information. For example, if I want you some kind of a confidential information, yeah, salary increment, your promotion, something, some important matter, confidential information should be in writing. Some personal information it must be given securely, like in the using a letter, for example, because the legal matter, something like a letter of appointment, a promotion, letter of appreciation, letter of something like confidential information, you must give the person in writing and in letter format. That is very important. And sensitive information such as staff disciplinary matter, right? Sometime warning letter or something, it should be communicated sometime face to face before you give that thing. You should have to call that person and tell that thing, sensitive information, not in front of everyone, not in front of the staff meeting, not in front of the other subordinates and colleagues while you are working. You should call that person out personally, and then you should give that information, that message. It will be a positive message or even negative message, because it's a personal information, sensitive information. You should give it face to face. Face to face, you should talk by meeting that person. Okay, here, this is the one I'm going to tell you this thing. All right, your attendance records must showing that you're absent continuously for this thing. Therefore, face to face, right? Sometimes even personal chat, not in front of everyone. You should do that thing, like sometimes personal sensitive information. You should talk to each and everyone, not in a group, in personally, in even WhatsApp also. Sometimes I'm doing that. See, for example, if it's a personal thing, sometimes if you are one person absent, I'm not talking to in front of everyone. I'm not talking to that person in WhatsApp group with everyone. I'm chatting that person. I'm sending the message personally. It's an impersonal message because it's sensitive information. then they can figure it out. They can give the excuse that this has happened. This is why I didn't participate for this. This is thing because that will be very personal matter, some private matter. They don't want to disclose it to everyone. They want to give it to the only the official. So there are certain things you have to consider. The common sense, I believe, you should know, and some communication, such as job offers, must be supported by a document such as letter. Always, it's a legal thing is there. So legal thinking. So it can be a purchase of a land or building, a purchase of motor vehicle. The separate files must be maintained because that communication, even job offer, must be supported by a document as a letter because there must be have some proof, right? Service letter you must give at the end of the resignation, everything. And also, if immediate feedback is required, a verbal communication will be needed. We need immediate feedback from the person, right? We want to know what kind of a solution we are going to do. As a question right now with everyone, what kind of, they don't have anything, they don't want some kind of a they request some kind of a note, some uh, instructions, they're expecting some advices from the senior management at that time. They can the immediate feedback. If you want, it's better to give a call or then go face to face and meet and get some solution immediately. If you need as soon as possible problem, better to give a call. And standard information is better to use a forms. What are standard information? Attendance form, right? If you want to submit some kind of like a some formality must be there. This is staff attendance. There's a form. Absentees list, right? Student absent. So you have to go to that because some a lot of Google Forms are these days. A lot of people are creating because like tick buttons, MCQ questions, right? And then small like a extract, sort of brief answers, answering questions. These things are there. Multiple choice questions. These things are there. Standard forms you can use if you want to collect the information, and you can analyze those information. If you want to find out the relevance of that information, you can use this standard form to communicate. And also, complex and detailed information must be communicated in a report. If you want to give some annual report, company progression, even the we talk about the school level, yeah, report, term report. They're giving in a detailed report, like in a few pages, because every subject teacher has to have a page to write about their comment, about their progression in the during the term. So you can see, I think everyone getting that thing at the end of the term report, the year end, the progression report. Each and every subject there is a comments on, and then marks and everything is there from the class teacher to the principal to the subject teacher. It's like a small concise booklet that you're getting to your hand. Then you can, your parents can understand, they can read, and they get some kind of like a detailed information, the picture about your performance and progression. And finally, we're talking about the last distraction, the barrier of communication is the different countries, language, and cultures. Like especially multinational companies, we have these problems. Especially the companies like working in different countries, like say Australia, it's a multicultural country, and also from India, even one country, so many languages they are using, right? Different states and cultures are vary as a result, languages are vary. So such differences may make communication more challenging. That's why people using a universal language, English language, to communicate with everyone. So employees may be in different time zones from one another, and which can delay the responses to take real time communicated by the telephone or video call difficult. As a result of that, time zone problems are there. Sometimes in universities, you can see if you are doing university US, Canada, the different time zone you can see compared in Asian countries. Then what happen if you are doing a university or something, college online from Sri Lanka or India? Then what happen? Sometimes you have to wake up in the midnight from Sri Lanka, and then because the daytime in USA is like a midnight in Sri Lanka. Then that connection. Sometimes you have to wake up in the middle of the night. Then you have to attend to the lectures online, and then when it comes to the daytime in Sri Lanka, then you have to sleep because that's a US midnight like that. So time differences sometimes make communication and work in difference because time zone. You have to figure it out that as well, American times and everything. Okay, so look at this activity number one, the work-related fatalities. So clear communication can help to reduce the number of accidents even. You can see uh, normally organization see agriculture and this total, right? This is include forest as well, number of work-related fatalities. You can see now It in agriculture sector, it's like a stable, does using increasing and then this decreasing trend. So you can what they're asking. Uh, Total in 2015, you can see work out the percentage of work-related fatalities in agriculture as a proportion of the total. So out of 43, this is the number of work-related fatalities. Out of 43 activities, 22 happen in the agriculture sector. So that is like a approximately is around more than 50%, right? 50 like a more than 50%. You can see 22 over 43 into 100. So around 50%, right? What is a clear communication important for a farm? Because yes, because everyone, not only agriculture, even forestry, is uh, health and safety regulations are really important to communicate with everyone, right? And also discuss the possible barriers to communication on farms. Include that these two barriers in the analysis. So when you're writing like this kind of a question, work-related fatalities, so you can understand the mainly what kind of barriers we can have. In this case, they say some people are seasonally employed. Work-related like a quad bike accidents are there. In addition, around 60% each year, 60 people each year seriously injured as a result. Most of these accidents happen from farm where quad bikes are used when working in the with livestock. So they are using these things to because to increase the efficiency, but they sometimes they fell from it and they got injuries and everything as a result of this thing. How communication will impact for this? When happened to farm and cot bikes are used in working with the livestock, spokesman of a health and safety agency said the problem is that people just don't understand how dangerous these bikes are. The message just hasn't got across. Far too many people ride these bikes without helmets, and this is so dangerous. These bikes have limitations and they can't go everywhere. Need to improve the communication and had make sure everyone knows the danger before even take off. So that's quad bike accidents are improving because of increasing trend because they're not using helmets. So then what happens? Then you communicate properly when you're driving and you have used a helmet. Bikes and the danger of using that thing, the risk and everything. But a lot of people they don't care about this thing they're using and they got injured as well. Okay, so this communication barriers, I can see this small example only. So we communication barriers. Now we are going to the next part of this one, the problems of ineffective communication. As a result of these barriers, what kind of impact is there? Writing for this kind of a question, like especially analysis points, what are the impacts or what are the problems of having ineffective communication? There's like a lot of list is there. You can see the communication for ineffective communication can cause to companies with good intel communication enjoy 47% better financial returns. Right? This is the list they given by the related to the poor internal communication of US companies in 2014. So as a result of ineffective communication, you can see it's expensive and result higher staff turnover, more staff absences, poor customer service, and more profits are all possible to examples like you can see high legal costs sometimes, lower profit margins, so all these impacts coming as a result of the poor communication, right? And with damaged relations with the customer. Communication damage the relations with customers and suppliers, and in case customer poor communication can result in misunderstanding, misinformation, and poor quality customer service. If communication problems cannot be solved, customers may find alternative shops or supplier. Yeah, that's the thing. If the communication is not good, imagine the communication between the right the different the sender and the receiver not good, then they are finding alternative because there are so many alternatives are there in the market. So this misunderstanding, misinformation, poor quality, everything must be removed. Ne? These barriers must be removed. That's otherwise you are going to lose the business. You are going to lose the market, customers, suppliers, everything. That without suppliers, without customers, without stakeholders, you can't never be succeeded in the business. Well, that's why sometimes if you just start a business, imagine a person can't talk to properly with the customer, then he can't be a successful businessman. You can start the business, but imagine that the person have no communication skills, no PR skill. Even smile can be have a good thing, ne? Right? Smiling even can have a good body language thing. Some people doesn't have these skills. Ne? So what they do, sometimes they have to hire people who have that skills, at least managers. cashiers. Ne? That's a lot of organization. They have the receptionist and everything that field. Why receptionist? They are recruiting people with like nicely. They can smile and they can talk nicely. Telephone operators, because they are the one who always dealing, contacting with the customer. So they must have good voice, nice tone, like that. Telephone, using the etiquettes and everything, business etiquettes, they should know that thing. So as a result of this, you can see the business sometimes they hire people with these communication skills. So if you have good communication skills, definitely you can actually reach to the top of the ladder in the corporate world, because organizations always need people. They are finding good communicators, good presenters, especially from jobs, especially like jobs like teaching. You must have good communication skills. And not only that, even legal jobs, lawyers, you must have very good communication skills with the clients. Even doctor must have very good communication skills with the clients. Must be able to explain that what's going on to the customer before a surgery. Must be able to explain the brief, what's going on right now in this is surgery we have to do because of this happened, like that. Must be able to communicate it nicely, give that message to the customer which can understand that. So it's very important. Communication means everything. Like even architecture must be able to communicate that thing nicely to the client, right? Bank manager must be a very good communicator. Each and every job, you can see communication is really important. Very important job, because without talking, without even not only talking, even writing skills, everything must be there. So communication is really important in that level, right? So you can see the this list. Ineffective internal communication can result low motivation and worker conflict, make injuries also. So look at these points. This below shows that the data related to the poor internal communication in US companies 2014. Companies with good internal communication enjoy 47% better financial returns. Each employee that switch from using uncommitted to committed in their work as a result of better internal communication adds 13,000 US dollars to the annual profit. In the USA, the 70% of employees are not engaged in their work. Disengaged employees cost 450 US dollar million to 550 US dollar million per year in lost productivity. Communication barriers can cost around 26,000 US dollars per worker owing to lost productivity. A business with 100 employees might expect to spend 17 hours per week merely clarifying communication. Right? Of employees, 71% think that managers do not spend enough time communicating goals and plans. That's why 71% of the people are thinking they are not about communicating goals and plans. Two-thirds of employees do not receive enough information when experiencing a corporate change. Sometimes become information overload also, but sometimes two-thirds of the people they are not getting enough information regarding the corporate change and experience. Okay. Right, look at this example of poor communication. 2015, around 40 workers on Brisbane received text messages in the employee called Hutchinson Ports, Australia, telling them that they had been dismissed. Figure, right? So this is it's a message of dismissal. Imagine this kind of message can be received in that these days because of the COVID-19. Look at the message here in the telephone. They say smartphone, you are not required for your allocated shift. Please disregard your most recent work orders. You are not required on shift until further notice. Look at this message. Do you think this is a good communication? This is a personal information and very sensitive information, because can you fire the people like this? Huh? Can you fire employees like this by just using SMS? You only no longer require, don't come. Huh? You can't do it, because it's a violation of employee rights. Because employees have so many arrangement with the job. They have attachments. They have family members. They have bank loans. They have so many things. By just for a text message, if you are saying okay, you are no longer required, don't come for the shift, you can't do this. But in case of, imagine like there's a threat or something, you have to quarantine or something, problem now you can message like that because immediate thing. But usually this is not polite way of sending a message. This is happening in 2015, long time ago. Some of the word in the text, just directed the dismissed workers to a company email that gave further details. Extract from the email revealed that intended last day of your employment will be on Friday, 14th August 2015. There would be no redeployment opportunities also. In the response to the text, angry workers set up a barrier stopping of the movement on ports and Brisbane and Sydney. 2 weeks later, late night court sitting gave the workers their jobs back as a result of that. Justice Darrell, as a result of that, agreed to grant temporary order to stop the Hutchinson ports to actually this action, right? Australia from going through this sacking and until the full hearing the following month. So as a result, you can't actually terminate the contract of workers by sending a text message like this. That's why they went on a strike and then they went to court as well. And then Law and Justice Department they order you have to cancel this thing and you have to give 1 month salary at least for them to sort out. You can't do it immediately. So again, the appropriateness of this thing actually is what happened. It is not actually appropriate, inappropriate. The method used in the Hutchinson Port, Australia, it is very inappropriate because you can't do it, right? So you have to find out the solution of that thing because the mainly when you're giving some kind of intel like a mainly sensitive information to a person, right? You can't actually communicate like that. The organizations are there to communicate properly, like HR department must be able to have a good communication with the employees because so in this case you can see this most people would agree that the use of text to inform workers that they are about to lose their job is highly inappropriate due to the restriction on how much can be written on this type of communication. Like redundancy notice this is an example of redundancy notice, right? So redundancy notice are highly sensitive messages. Highly sensitive messages. You can see like this is the redundancy notice they sent by the that company. You can see this is a highly inappropriate message. Go again. This is just only simple wording. So redundancy notice are highly sensitive messages need to be communicated with care, which requires more than the 140 character limit to text message. Only 140 letters are there. Text message. Right? An employer might be better advised to use face-to-face communication, at least tell them to come and then a meeting, you have to talk them face-to-face, but only because of their fear, because of angry workers, right? Where the sensitive attitude can be used to when giving the message. Alternatively, a formal written letter might be written to each individual with plenty of notice before an end of the employment contract, right? Before an end of the contract. The second question also they say, describe the possible impacts. Describe the possible impact of this thing, this method of communication. The use of texting to sack employees is unprofessional and insensitive. Unprofessional and insensitive. It is likely to have a negative effect on Hutchinson Ports Australia. The sacking reported to the media would be have reflected badly on the company in the view of general public. So this is reputation of the company also gone, right? As a result of that. Such negative publicity would damage the image of the company and result of loss of customers. Regular customers might want to distance themselves from company engaging in such a practice. It is also possible that the motivation of the other workers would be negatively affected as well. This might fear for their jobs as well. Finally, in the case it says that the industrial action was taken and there were protests and two physical barriers were put up for the entrance as well. This would have affected the Hutchinson port operations and possibly caused some expensive disruption. These are the impacts you can see. So to wrap up the lesson again, I summarized what are the main things that we talk about today's lesson. We talk about the communication barriers. We start the lesson from the barriers of the communication. The lack of clarity would be a barrier. Technological breakdown would be a barrier. And lack of poor communication skill is definitely a barrier. And using jargon in your communication is a barrier, so avoid jargon. Distraction, background noises is a barrier. Business culture sometimes provide a barrier for communication. Long chain of command is a communication barrier. using wrong mediums in communication barrier. I talk about different methods we can use the communication medium, like confidential information, sensitive information, give kind of like a kind of privacy, gives kind of a letter to communicate in writing or face-to-face thing, especially like this is sensitive information. You have to give it like a personally, you have to give that message, not in front of everyone. And we talk about the different finally, the countries and language differences, language barriers, countries and language and cultures is another part of barrier, because when you go to China, when you go to Italy, if you don't know the Italian language, the Mandarin language, you might be in trouble because you can't communicate with them, because then you have to use the hand gestures and body language to communicate with them. That's what happened. And we talk about the two case studies. Activity number one, the work-related fatalities and all, and in agricultural sector, and also the activity number two, what was going on in the Hutchinson, the port in Brisbane, what happened to them by using just a mere a text message to inform their redundancies and all, right? So that's all about the communication barriers. So in my next session, we are going to talk about how to avoid this barrier. So keep in touch and watch my videos on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe my channel, Malin Ranasinghe, and you can watch this all my videos on my channel. So have a nice day. See you on next session. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.